Hello folks. Okay, so now I know the situation at least. So the dogs have been rehomed, all of them. Yeah. I'm going to have to phone out SSPCA again because of the fact they haven't given me any money from the seller of dogs. They kept it all themselves, which is a bit out of order, but then again, I'm not surprised. Yeah, and I was wrong. When I said they gave me 10 days, what I mean, yeah, initially, they actually gave me 3 weeks. But obviously because of Christmas, and when you take away weekends, it worked out as 10 days. Yeah, 10 working days that I had. So 10 days was correct, but it's actually 3 weeks. So, yeah, that can still be challenged based upon the fact that I should have had 3 weeks, but it didn't because of Christmas. And also at the time, we were being told that there would be a lockdown after Christmas because that was the Christmas when it was opened up for people to go to families' homes to spend Christmas with them. And the UK government was saying that there would be a lockdown afterwards. I'm not sure if there was a lockdown afterwards. I don't know. Can't remember if there was one. I don't know. There might have been a mini lockdown or something. I'm not sure. But generally speaking, whether there were solicitors working within that 3 weeks, most of that 3 weeks, the answer was no. They wouldn't be working there because they wouldn't have been working until after New Year's. And so yeah, so when I say I had 10 days, yeah, that would have been true. I did only have 10 days maximum, but as I say, I'm not even sure. But actually at that point in time also, if you go back, you'll see on the 10th of January I did a video talking about the fact that my BT had been shut off for 3 weeks. So for the whole period of time when I had to really appeal, my BT was shut off at that time. Now, at that point in time I had obviously no internet on my computer. What I did have was internet available on my phone, but when I looked to see whether there was any issues with BT, it did come up on Google saying BT was down in this area. That wasn't true though, but I didn't realise that until the 10th of January, when I finally went on Google again to do a search for a phone number where I can contact BT, because every time I tried to contact BT on a number I had, it didn't work. There was never any answer. Now, of course, my understanding was if BT was down in the whole area, there wouldn't be an answer because there'd be hundreds of people, thousands of people trying to get through to them all the time. So therefore, chances are it'd just ring and there wouldn't be an answer. So the scenario completely made sense to me at the time. Now, look, the situation is, where I'm at the moment is, I think it's bloody obvious that God wanted that to be the case. He didn't want me to appeal. Well, because they put in BT for the people upstairs and cut my BT off, right, at the time. It's at a time when the only phone number I've got at BT is no longer actually a BT phone number, that I've not phoned them for a while. Since I last phoned them, they cut that number off. And when I go online, it says that BT is down in the whole area when I go online on my phone. And Google will do a Google check about BT issues in the area. It says that BT is completely down. It's something to do with EE. Until I can understand why on earth God wanted my dogs to be taken away, I'm not going to get past this. I'm not. Well, because, yeah. I've spoken many times on YouTube videos about the possibility of a wife. Well, I'm now officially at a point of saying I do not want a wife. In any way, shape or form. I am not in a position where I can, until I understand this, I cannot accept the possibility of having a wife. Because my understanding is if I have a wife, God's only going to have her taken away from me. Because when I was having problems with my ex, the mother of my son. And it was to the point where she wasn't letting me see my son. I gave my son to God, believing that that was the only way I'd see him, and I never saw him again. Same with my dogs. When it was a point of appealing and I wasn't able to appeal because of various circumstances, I gave my dogs to God, believing it's the only way I'm going to get them back, and they all got rehomed. So if I get married and I give my wife to God, fucking hell, I'm not going to do that. There's absolutely no way, shape or bloody form I'm going to do that, am I? Until I understand exactly what the blinking Nora is going on and why God felt it right to have my dogs taken away from me and for me never to get them back. Because if he's been telling me that I'm innocent of the charges and that I should be found not guilty, but he still wants my dogs never to come back to me, he wants them to be rehomed, which to me is, talk about animal abuse. They were taken away from their human, they were split up, they went into 3 different kennels, so, well, the 11 plus Molly's pups, that would be. So Molly and her pups with Chewy, I think, went to 1 kennel. Then you would have had, I think, Smiley Riley, Amber, and probably Mickey. And then you would have had probably Gracie, Terry, Jacob, Covey, Lockie, and another one. So, Covey and Lockie got to spend most of their time together as sisters. But then they're split up forever. Gracie got to spend all that time with her son, Jacob. But now they're split up. Jacob and Lockie got to spend all that time together. Sorry, Jacob, Lockie, Covey and Terrible. But now they're split up. Smiley Riley and Amber spent 6 years together from babies, and now they've been split up. Molly, Chewy, Lucy spent 8 years together, and now they've been split up. This shows no consideration whatsoever for them. I'm not angry for me, not at all. I pretty much got to the point where I was used to life without them. So yeah, put it this way, the first hour after realising they'd been rehomed, I'd never felt so much darkness in my life. Never. I was ready to slit my throat at that point in time. I had about probably half an hour of seriously thinking of cut my own wrist at that point in time. But then it was just replaced with anger for what's happening to them. Because this whole point that I was accused of throwing Lockie down the steps. The vets basically looked at her, found no injuries, no sign of any suffering whatsoever. On the video of that, there was no whining, no crying, no yelping. And yet she was taken away from her sister, taken away from her mum, taken away from all the other bloody family she had because of that. So who's been punished? Me or them? Yeah. Until I understand exactly why that is, there's no way, shape or form I want to have a wife or anything like that. Anyway, you take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.